next Ms. Chastain to be pleased. As you know, before the meeting, I will take a moment of silence for the mission go on. We like our President Carter. He had a terrorist attack in Florida. 14 was killed and 30 or 40 was injured. So let's take a moment of silence for them. For those in their family. I would think. Well, gracious Father, we come to pray with thanksgiving. Thanking you as far as everything you have done for us. We realize that we couldn't have accomplished anything. We thank you for bringing us from the last meeting in December to the first meeting in January of 2025. So let's call by this one and thank you. Father, I don't know what 25 is going to bring, but I know you know if you want us, Father. As you bless this year, and I know that you know things as well. And boy, I love you, Lord. This is the good also, Father. This our country, this our state, this our parents, this our community, this our youth, Father. This our first response, because we need all the good. Father, I pray for understanding, wisdom, and knowledge. Bless our religion to be the best. And this is the faith and confidence that you want me to call it. We allow the church things going on in the world. We know you are the one control that control all things. And Father, I thank you for everything here. And you mind. We give you all the praise and glory.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Stephanie. Roll call, please,
Mr. Dexter Armstead.
Present.
Mrs. Kristen Chastain.
Here.
Mr. Michael Cheatham.
Here.
Mr. Kyle Flanagan.
Here.
Mr. Jason McCray.
Present.
Mr. Keith Mills.
Here.
Mr. Richard Oliver.
Here.
Dr. Christy Oakland. Here. President Louis King.
You want to approve the agenda, please?
So moved.
You want Mr. Lee?
Second.
Second by Mr. Armstead. Any discussion? Question from the audience? Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next thing is good order of business. Adopt the minutes on December 16th, 2024, public hearing.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. McCray. Second by Chris Chief. Any discussion? Question from the audience? Any all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. If someone again adopt the minutes from December 16th, 2024, regular.
Move to accept.
Moved by Mr. Armstead.
Second.
Second by Dr. Quinn. Any discussion? Question from the audience? Any all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. New business. Nomination election of College Bureau President.
I nominate Louis King.
Second.
Are there any other nominations? If not, entertain a motion to close the nomination, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you all for that comment, we appreciate it.
Send me my check.
Okay. Next on the agenda, adopt, nomination election of Bureau Vice President.
I make a motion to nominate Dr. Christy O'Quinn. Second.
Any other nominations? Any motion to close the nomination?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Dr. Quinn.
Thank you for the vote of confidence.
Next on the agenda, discuss, take action on tax redemption value and effective date for Route 79, Assessor Jeff Gardner. Put on the bag up a minute, I wish everyone had to do this, okay?
Good evening, how is everybody?
State your name,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Just state your name, please.
Jeff Gardner, East Feliciana, assessor.
Need to do it again.
understand the potential questions of the first responders additional homestead exemption. The reason why I asked y'all to bring it back up was for two reasons. Y'all approved it, which was fine. You never set a start date, which you can make it retroactive back to January 1st. And you did not set an amount. So you can give the exemption of from $1 up to $2,500 of assessed value. So those two things need to be done in order to begin the process. And note that this needs to be done annually.
We have to reset it every year.
Every year. Yeah, and you can change every year, or zero. You have to do it this year because you've already approved it.
Yeah.
But next year you could say, we can't afford to do this,
Well, would you know how many people this is gonna affect?
not at this time. It could be very broad. And I want to make an understanding. I'm not for this, nor am I against this. I'm the mediator. If you read the law, it's my responsibility to apply what you decide, and it's also the burden is put on me to make sure these people are qualified or they are not. So I don't have a dog in the hunt. So I want to be sure that's clear.
You know, we have to apply every year. The first responder.
Correct. So it's a reapplication every year. The chiefs or the sheriff or whoever's in charge, they have to resubmit all the forms because there's qualifications and it's broad. The Assessors Association complained to the author of the bill, which is now obviously a law. It's very, very unclear. State troopers qualify, wildlife and fisheries qualify, specifically written, anybody that is a professional, that works inside, the parish in which they domicile qualify. First responders, as far as ambulance, National Guard qualify. A doctor, a nurse qualify. There are some qualifications that need to be met. When it addresses specifically in the law that professionals qualify, well, obviously there is, in order for them to remain a professional, they're going to meet all the criteria. Basically, the people that are not going to have the criteria readily available is your volunteers. All you parish deputies, all you town police officers, whether they are full-time or whether they are reservists, they all qualify if they meet the certifications. So, fire marshals qualify. So anybody that the governor can say, I need you on standby for a hurricane coming in, they qualify.
I have a question. On this bill, it says that they must be a volunteer firefighter who's completed within the next year, no fewer than 24 hours of CE.
Correct.
So that means if you're a nurse, you have to be on the fire department.
No, if you continue reading on the, I think it's in either part 2 or 3,
Okay.
it says professionals. And then it continues on to explain peace officers, fire protection personnel, any individual certified as an emergency medical personnel. I think a nurse qualifies.
So they won't need to do.
No, they're, that's what I say, they're professional, so they have the right, a doctor, so anybody, and so like your National Guard, they're qualified.
So those of us that are on the EOC, it would also,
If you have 24 hours of voluntary training, yes.
Can I ask you, what would be say you don't have a dog. So we've done, we have specified.
Correct.
What would be a token amount that we could?
You can go up to $2,500 assessed
Where
value.
are we
You
at
can't
now?
spell out
Just-
what it's gonna cost us. I'm talking about the first year, start out real low to figure out what it's gonna be, you know?
That's,
We got budgetary problems, and so we gotta pass them down the line. I'm not against this, I'm just saying,
I understand.
until we can figure it out, we need to put a minimum amount on it, and then next year, if we can be generous, we'll be generous.
We can go from $1 to 25.
The only thing
No,
is,
that's 2,500 assessed value.
25.
Do not get 25,000 confused. It's two different things.
25.
I did some research. I contacted the Assessors Association. Approximately 50% of the governing entities have rejected it. So, but you have established it, so you can't go backwards. You've got to set a figure and you got to set a start
so
date.
when do we need to do this?
Yeah.
Right tonight.
I'm looking at-
Because I've got to start my process, because I have a window in which people can apply.
I'm looking at the day we get there first. That's the implement.
That's the 500.
So in terms of that does, that affects the amount of money that
Because we
the
want to
parish
try,
gets.
we will set the date, retroactive January first. Motion to accept.
Motion.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
January 1st, 2025.
Right,
Right.
right.
Okay, thank you.
Not
I want to be clear.
monetary.
I think I have to
Or
abstain.
I suggest we use 500, yeah, that's what I said. What y'all think?
I'm just saying.
Okay, did y'all vote on the 500 yet?
No, we're just talking.
Okay.
Just discussing.
I say 100. Figure out how much it's gonna be to apply. If they want it, they'll apply. And then next year, we can meet it. If we need to be 500, we need to be 1,000.
I'm down with you, Mr. Richard, because of how it affects us as a government entity in the sheriff's office, and it trickles down. You know, if we start,
I'm good with
It affects police jury, it affects school board, it affects sheriff, it affects assessor, it affects anybody that's got a millage. Your fire, your 911, everybody will be affected that gets a $1 from Avalon taxation.
You'd be surprised with those guidelines right there on who falls under it. Start looking how many nurses are in here, firemen, all that. You're gonna look at a lot of money.
What's the pleasure? Monetary.
I propose $100.
100 assessed
Value.
value dollars. And I'm just trying to make sure it's proper.
Specific.
Mr. Jeff, so 100 assessed value, yeah, so 100 assessed value, how much benefit would that be to the law enforcement officers? So that's $1,000.
So it'll go from 7,500 homestead exemption to 7,600 homestead exemption.
So that's probably about $25 off their tax bill, you think? I mean,
I'll be honest, I had to crunch those numbers.
I mean, it's kind of good to know those numbers, I would say. You know, the reason, because like I said, the reason I kind of brought it up, I don't have a dog and I can't get it, but the sheriff's office, the chiefs of police, they really need to be here asking for this and say, hey, we want this. And West Feliciana, when it was brought up, the tax assessor came and said, hey, I talked to the sheriff said he has 12 people that qualify for this. They have to be homeowners. These are how many people I have. Chief of police says I have this many people. The fire department said that, and they was presented to the board over there as this is how many people get it or qualify to get it. This is how much it's going to take off of your tax base. If you give them $100, you know that's $1,000 off the tax bill. That may be $5 off their tax bill, but that's just something. That's something that you probably can't do this year. Something that you probably have to reassess it next year, but whatever y'all do this year, I'm sure that they're gonna appreciate whatever y'all give them.
Monetary at $100.
So we have the 100, we want to do 5.
I'm leaning towards the 5. That's my position.
Motion, second for the first.
for 100. If you
Right.
get 7, so it
That's
died.
right. That's right.
Yeah, but it died like a second.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, second.
then you can make your next motion.
500.
Now, I want the board to know that, now, I've been, this is
I know.
my second term on this, and I haven't really been, completely involved in finance because I wasn't in it. But now, when you put this mind to working about pennies, pennies makes dollars. And when we going into a situation with our money, that, I mean, look, I'm for good insurance for our employees, I'm for our veterans, 100%, for everybody. But the reality, because I'm gonna ask him to do something when we get through with this, is we gotta start somewhere. And we gotta, that old song says, gotta take it away. We don't wanna take it
Well,
away.
you think the job is too high?
Until we,
Go
look,
250 then.
Wait, got a motion.
I'll compromise with
We gotta
250,
take
but
it.
we gotta know how many people it's gonna involve,
We don't really know.
you know.
I have no, because you might get all the nurses, you got 25 nurses in the parish,
Yeah, we don't.
5 of them might apply.
Yeah.
I don't, there's no way I can tell you that this is how much money it's gonna
That-
generate.
Next year we'll know, and then, I mean, and if it's not that many.
Next year you'll have an estimation,
Estimation, that's right.
because it's gonna change from year to year.
You still gonna make the motion for 100?
He motion down
I'm
for
gonna
that.
rescind, I'm gonna take my motion back for 100 and make it 250, how's that?
I'll second that.
Okay.
We keep that regular motion.
Oh, you got it.
500.
I give you 5.
We got to set the back, we got to.
Right. You don't even have to state that, because that's.
Right, you don't have to rescind it, because it dies like a second.
Say 250, got a motion, second,
What for
for 250.
Mr. Armstead,
second.
Any more discussion? Question from the audience? All in favor? Any opposed?
Abstain.
Yes, sir.
all right, Mr. Gardner. And you can use me, I would ask you that if you would take my tax, what my little house tax is, and in comparison to everybody, I know it's not enough, but I'll tell you what I'm talking, is take it, and if we lost trains, the planes, the boats, because this parish has got to grow, and it's got to get money from somewhere, and at some point, it might be 20 years from now, but I'd like to know what my taxes would go to. If that went away, and then we voted in millages, we need a millage for the courthouse, we need one for the jail, we need money, and it ain't, we're not getting enough. So,
I can estimate what it would cost you if we lost our public service, which is the ships, the vessels, the railroads and all that. I cannot estimate a random millage out of the air,
well, let's don't do the mill, let's just say, if you lose that,
and everybody rolls to their max meal.
that's right, just do that, and then tell me when you can, or you can just send it to me, what it is. And
Okay.
so that way, I'm not on the high end, and, I'm not on the $50 end, so it'd be like, we'll have a culture shock here as to what's eventually gonna have to happen one of these days.
It will be a culture shock if you lose these.
Yes, well, it's gonna be a shock, anyway it goes. But the only way you're gonna know you got, when I see it on print, I know it. And, so, if you do that for me, I appreciate it.
It's kind of like we got all our eggs in one basket right now. I don't know where it is.
Please take the name.
Yes, George Center from Buffalo. Just had a question. How does this program apply to the veterans and the disabled veterans? Are they included?
If they're a public service, if they're a first responder. That's the key. If they're first responders, then yes.
You have to own a
Oh,
home.
you got on the home.
They
You
gonna-
gotta own a home, you gotta have homestead exemption here, and you have to, your first responding capabilities has to be here. That's the law.
In this paper, and that be certified each year. It's not in criminal, that be certified every year. Any more questions? Please take the hand.
Mr. Gardner, John Rushan, do the professionals have to work in the parish too? In other words, if we have a nurse and say she works at Lane and applies, does that?
Her license gives her the opportunity to work anywhere in the state.
Okay.
So just like a state trooper. He might be stationed, he might be in Point Capit,
I'm good.
Yeah.
but his territory covers East Feliciana.
Okay, the only ones that couldn't would be traveling nurses that go.
No.
They can.
If they got a license in the state of Louisiana, they can do whatever. Because if they're riding down the road and they see an accident in East Feliciana Parish,
Oh, no, I'm not talking about traveling as in that kind of nurse.
I know what you mean by traveling, but they're still licensed in this state.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Gardner.
Any more questions?
Thank you,
Thank
Jim.
you.
You bet.
Thanks.
I'll get you the information.
Yes, sir.
Let's move on. Discuss take action on vow of home and valuation of home. Yeah, 2016.
Yeah, just clarify, 2 weeks ago, y'all do qualify for this if option 1 and 2 don't work. And this is a voluntary program that homeowners can choose to do it or not. I don't think it's something y'all want to take off the table until you discuss everything with the people whose house flooded. You know, they may want the other thing, I don't know, but that's, I just think that, and we're gonna get more information on the next meeting, they're supposed to have some more information, but I just don't think y'all should totally take it off the table without talking to the people that.
So it is a volunteer.
It's voluntary.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Right.
The governor's not going to tell you, Keith, you gotta sell your house.
That's right.
They're gonna give you the choice, sell it or elevate.
This is the jury, then, that's individual.
Yeah. That's right.
Well, that's just for information.
Yes, I-
Okay, next on the agenda, discuss take action on repairs to controls and parish crew for $86,716 monthly fee. And you know, we prioritize that, what is salary fees.
First off, before we start, how much of the 86,000 is
All of
all
every
of
penny.
it? How much is left after the 86,000?
Chris, we're still trying to get on that. It's not gonna be a lot left, I can tell you all that.
Less than 50,000?
Oh, no,
It's more than
it's more than that.
that.
I think it's gonna be anywhere from 150 to 250.
Now, is our money for the park still dedicated already?
Yes, sir.
No, we got it.
It's already in there.
Okay,
Y'all good.
we already know this is Mr. Sanders, I'm gonna go ahead and answer I see the quote back here. Have you quoted this with anybody else?
Attempted to, got in contact with Securitech.
Uh-huh.
Securitech is the company that's have been doing the locks and controls at Dixon. The owner Ken Brown came up and did a walkthrough. Just through talking, he was saying that it would be a couple $100,000 to do the facility. But there, at this point, I've learned being bought out by a company by the name of Cornerstone, that I've never heard of. They came out several months ago. I repeatedly went out to Mr. Brown trying to get a quote. Never could get a quote. Have yet to get a quote. Learned a few minutes ago when I called Mr. Will Bunch, who heads makers at Dixon. He advised me that Securitech is in the process of being bought out by Cornerstone. So it's not that many companies in the U.S. that actually deal with those controls inside of the prison.
You wasn't here, but you know, I want to see a resolve to whatever we can do to fix things at the parish prison. But, you know, we got to go watching with the money. And so, my question is, before we just do things, is to the jury, to the manager, can we spend this much money without something, some kind of quote or not quote and I know you diligently done your homework, but we only have that one quote.
I feel like as the jurors being good stewards of money, I think that we should, I don't think it should be up to them to have to get it's not their money that's being spent, it's us that's
Well,
in it, and we should be the one giving the tips for it.
you know, you're right about that, but Kenny's been doing all the legwork.
Right.
You know, he's been doing the legwork, and large amounts of money, he should have some backup, you know, help him do the legwork. But right now, we down where we gotta do something, but is it, Sam's here, can we let this out without 2 more quotes?
What I've done is just share the contact information with the parish manager for Security Tech. That's the company that came down, that's the company that's taking care of Dixon. So he's got that number now, so he can reach out to him and see if he can have better luck.
Yeah,
than
no,
I-
I'm not, I know you're doing a good job, I'm just like, you heard me, we opened up the box in my mind about money, so money's gonna be my main focus, y'all might as well get ready. And so that's all I'm saying is that I want you to start fixed. If it's legal to give you the money, let's vote on give you the money, and you get started.
We keep working on it, and Mr. Nick explained this to you. We appropriated $360,000 to fix the bridge on the program. It came less than $80,000. We put money on spend there $100,000, but it can't be fixed. It's still going back to our company. So the money is there. We got to spend this money for the year 26
But can I say one thing?
Please do.
Gotta all remember, I'm just here, the jail don't want me.
No,
Feliciana Parish Prison belongs to the jury. So it's, I don't want it to get confused where, I don't want anybody to hear this and thinking that police jury is when the sheriff, 86
Oh, I'm not, look,
This is your bill, and this is.
Kenny, you doing a phenomenal job, and you bringing it to us, but now, I'm just wanting to make sure we can do this at one time, and be doing it right, and, because we're gonna be faced more and more as it goes along.
It's a safety issue.
Yeah, Lewis, have I not always said, did I not go to the jail?
Oh, yeah,
Did I not
you
tell
said
you,
it.
the first time I walked in there, is them windows ever got changed? Well, I can tell you, if I were in complete control, we'd change the windows, that's a safety issue. But, so, I understand it very, very well. It just, now y'all got to understand me, it's about money.
Real quickly, I want to say, because I had the opportunity to walk through the jail with Warden Sanders here on Sunday, and just for the history, I worked in the jail back under the Gone administration, and I worked in CC1 and CC2. And so when I would commend Warden Sanders, he's done a phenomenal job over there. He's very diverse in what's going on in that jail. And he took me in, and from my experience in that jail when I first worked in there, that jail is in a mess with those doors and windows. In the back, when I worked there, they had the Cubans in the back, in the security, in the back there. And there's this iron gate that we kept closed at all times. That gate is now inoperable. So those guys would get out in the back on May morning and be in the back and rush to the front. Excuse my expression, but they would have hell on their hands trying to secure that jail.
I understand all of that. I understand it all. I want to figure out how we can help them get the money to fix all the major stuff.
I think everything should be fixed, the windows, everything, get the
Well,
most for our money.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's why I wanted the tax assessor to just take my taxes so we can show everybody, because I don't know all the logistics on money, but, you know, it's a bond, whatever it is, at some point in time, we got to go to the bank. Fix it. We either got to build a new one, we got to fix it. We can't afford to build a new one.
Very quickly, I also like to interject, those computer boards that I used to work on, those things are obsolete, it's not even working. They have some little computer that these people are trying to work on. If that computer goes down, there's no backup.
The jail was built in 1988.
And it's
So
just
with-
totally different.
$86,000, we don't need to have bids, but
This is not.
Yeah, I would say it's always good to have bids or a fax quote. And what you can do is you can, approve it subject to getting somebody to fax you something in next week or fax you something in tomorrow. Contact the other company, have them make a request. So you can approve it on the condition that you get some other type of
Get something.
documentation.
and does this $86,000, that will take care of all of the gates or
The control,
controls, that's what I mean?
It's gonna
Control
take
gates.
care, it's gonna take care of the main doors that we need to have controls going to. It is so much more that needs to be done with an overall lock. This is just to be able to have custody and control of the guys that are inside. That's just the main doors, just the main door. So many other doors that this is not gonna cover. But this is just to have, make sure we have custody and control. Yeah,
This is a Band-Aid to get you somewhere else.
yeah, make it secure.
And if y'all remember, the wish list he brought to us 2 weeks ago was right at $300,000. So, I mean, sooner or later, and look, I've been in prison, warden, sandwich, Jennifer's gonna take me off through it and all, it is in bad shape. I mean, the safety issue should be paramount in everybody's mind. But, I'm gonna call Warden Sanders, gave me the name of the company, I'm gonna call him tomorrow and find out. But also, y'all need to remember that this is the same problem we have when we try to bid a bridge project. It's hard to get people to come and give a bid and then y'all not do the work. I mean, that's becoming extremely hard to get people to come up here to do the work. Because you bid it, it takes time. I mean, Mr. Armstead, you own a business, you know what it's like to bid something.
Takes time.
And then, you know, with no hope of doing it. So, I mean, I understand, you know, wanting to be fiscally responsible, but if you can't get quotes and nobody wants to come up here, I mean, you kind of throw a rock in a hard place, you know, that's, but like I say, Warren Sanders gave me the number, Mr. Quillen, I talked with Warren back, and, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Quillen, you seem to think that if I call these people and they say, hey, look, we're just not interested in 200,000, all I gotta do is get that guy to fax it to me or email it to me.
I'd like to make a motion.
I agree with that.
We accept it, that we just get a phone in, a fax.
Can we try to get a third one? Can we try to get a third one?
You can try, but you're not getting it.
But somebody,
It's just
somebody
not,
that would say, no, we can't.
last time.
it's just not many companies in the country that do deal with
Is it because how old the jail is, or what y'all have your system, or just?
Yeah, it's not a whole lot of companies. You got like Foley Adams, you have like 2 companies that even makes the locks. It's just not a lot of companies out there.
Just not a market for it.
Yeah.
So for audit purposes, we don't need that third one?
No.
Okay. All
I got a second,
Keith got the.
Keith second.
okay?
So we make a motion to, well, I can make a
To
motion.
give the money
I made a
and just,
motion.
we received the bids.
Keep another.
Yeah, another,
For sure.
Second.
Time out, it may not be a proposal. I'm gonna call and ask them.
whatever,
If you
whatever
willing
they
to
do.
do it.
Whatever they do.
Because if they're not willing to do it, all I'm getting
Yes,
is
sir.
an email from that guy saying, hey, look, we're not interested in giving you a quote.
We can move it on.
And we move forward.
Sounds very good.
That works.
You understand what he's saying, though?
Yes.
Which I understand. Good.
Yeah, I do. So can we authorize, Kenny, if this comes in, that, and we get, nobody can do it, that we take a week, and then if we get nobody that can do it, that he goes ahead and proceeds with
Any
it?
motion, I think they just did.
Yeah, that's what y'all doing, because again, I can call these people tomorrow.
Yeah.
I would know
If you
tomorrow.
have to wait a week.
Yeah.
Just whenever you get all the information you need, you don't have to be a week with it.
No,
Yeah.
I hope to do it tomorrow.
And what we can do is, whenever y'all do that, it's like someone from the jury to reach out to the company that's, however y'all decide to do it, and just do it.
That sounds
With
good.
Fred Navy.
That way, it is, you know, it gets to be done.
He would do it.
All right.
Any more discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you,
y'all.
Ken.
Thank you.
Okay, this on the agenda,
Thank you, Mr. Ward.
All right, thank you.
discuss take action on request for Feliciana Family and Friend Money to be Coolville property, 11947 Jackson Street, 1146 Bank Street, the Park Hospital, for the money operated, it could be on the 25th of this month.
So we began playing.
Yeah.
Move to accept, that's something we did last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Move to accept.
Yeah, and I'll be out there with them, so it won't be any problem.
What's the name? This one. Any discussion?
Fine.
Wait for more. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Committee staff report, appointment to other regional library board. We have one, yes, that's Jerry Roy,
He's already on there.
who will be appointed. Next time question, you just got elected to the Feliciana Parish School Board, what did you do off the whole, if it's appointed to library board?
Not paid for it.
They don't get paid on the library
He
board, do
can
they?
be on
You wanna make sure?
I don't know, yeah, I don't.
Yeah, 'cause he has got it looked into.
Then, what is-
Because I don't think it's an ethics violation because he's not receiving a pay. He's doing it on the, library thing is volunteer.
Yeah, and if there's any conflict in the school board or the library, he needs to abstain from voting on that too. I'll double check, and if there's a problem, we'll bring it back up.
Thank you. Okay. Motion to approve by Jerry. Motion.
Motion.
Mr. Clinton, Ms. Dunphy, any discussion? Question from the audience? You all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, appointment to water, used to be on the civil board commission. Yes, applicant in your bond. One is Mr. James Halbrook.
All right, we got a gentleman on here that's already on the board, and that says he
No.
likes to remain,
No,
this guy right here,
no,
Kanye.
he's not on the board.
He's on
The
the,
reason for this is because you got an opinion from Attorney General that two brothers cannot serve on the same board.
okay, so his brother's on there?
No, Mr. Russo was on the board.
Oh, okay.
Two Russo. The one will have to come out, you can last for the appointment, the first one come out. So Mr. Chris Russo will have to come up to the board and make the appointment in place.
I think what Mr. Allen was saying though, in Mr. Granier's letter, your handwritten letter, it says he'd like to be reappointed. That's what Mr. Richard was saying.
If he's on the board, but he has to be reappointed. If he's on the board, and you put Chris in his place, if he's not on the board right now.
Yeah, I think he's filling out some.
But he was just letting them know that he had experience in, he had been on the
Okay.
board previously.
Okay,
Okay.
that clarifies it, because the way it's written, the letter's written, it makes it look as though
He's
he's
already
currently
written.
on,
Yeah.
that's what I was
He's not on the
asking.
board. So what's the trade gonna do? You got Mr. Hope, you got his brother, Mr. Halbrook, and Mr. Brown.
Well,
I made,
no, but Mr. Granier wants to go back on the board, okay?
I'll make the motion to
Make a
support
motion to
Mr. Larry
put Mr.
Kanye.
Granier on the board.
Yeah.
That's a motion,
Second.
any discussion? Question in order. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll move on. Personnel committee, Mr. O'Keefe.
I don't have anything, thank you.
Fire committee, Mr. Charles Lynn.
I'd like to make a motion to approve monthly invoices.
Second.
Any discussion? Question in order. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I have one more thing, just for information only. I got a list of items that we, the jury, are not legally obligated to fund, since Mr. Olivo's brought up finances, and I thought everyone should know. We, out of the kindness of our heart, it's funded out of general fund. We have 4 things that we annually fund, and I just wanted to give you those so everybody would know in the amounts. The first is LSU Ag for $27,000. The second is Council on Aging for $25,000. The third is the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank for $2,500. And then, of course, the Public Defender's Office for $45,000. So just wanted y'all to be aware of that if you weren't already.
How much?
Public Defenders is $45,000. But just want everybody to know what we fund with our money and where it's going.
He's not dedicated fund, it's just because of the.
This is coming out of, general
General
fund?
fund.
What was that, Jackson?
27,000.
That's close to $100,000.
Council on Aging is what I wanted.
Council on Aging is $25,000.
Just for $100,000.
I'd like to ask Mr. Flanagan, if he convenes, a finance meeting, that it don't have to be immediately, but soon, that we start looking at what can be brought up to, you know, I don't know what's a sustainable cut, but, budget of 5%, 10%, or whatever we could do, is look at everybody's budget. If we can start reducing. And I know that ain't popular, you know, but I don't mind saying it. I'm sure if here this time next year, and we're worse off than we are now.
I understand, and that's why I wanted everybody to know sitting at the table.
So every year they come back and ask this, or we just,
They ask for an amount,
We're giving it to them annually.
you know, it's based on previous years, yes, but on their needs as well, so.
But like you said, it's not obligated.
No legal obligation, but we just wanted
You know,
you
that's
to know.
what I don't mean to be rambling, but you take like the $2,500 to the food bank, to council, or council, any of that, and Baton Rouge, they're gonna, this next year, coming year, they're gonna have like a $12.5 million budget. You know, they feed, they do so much, but so many of them down there, but look what's happened to them. St. George is taking their money, so they got to get that money back from somewhere, you know? And so, we need to do more, but we don't have the money to do more with.
And we gotta be more careful on how we spend it, and how we being so generous in all these different entities
And that's
coming
why I
in here.
want to,
Because if we keep on and continue to pull out and not put nothing in, general fund is gonna be suffering pretty soon.
anyway, I shut up.
That's something, everybody might wanna start looking at.
Those 4 things, probably $100,000.
And that's all I have, Mr. Lewis, just wanted it for information.
Building probably is Public Works,
Public Works, I don't have anything.
building probably is $1,000. Anything we thought about building property?
No, sir.
Administrative matter?
The only thing I ask, since y'all harped on one tonight, is please go with that book. Please, look at it and understand. If you have a question, please call me, Miss Uriah. Because if y'all listen to what Scott told y'all 2 weeks ago, last week, y'all have some hard decisions to make in the next 60 to 90 days. Because what y'all are doing is not sustainable. It seems like I told y'all that. So, I mean, moving forward, y'all really need to pay attention to that. And I don't know, you know, it's nice to give money to everybody, try to help everybody. I mean, there's not so much as general fund. And we still don't know how much the general fund is gonna have to pay back to help you. That number's still inaccurate. They're still trying to crunch all the numbers there. My guess is it's gonna be north of 500. Yeah. That's just my guess, and I may be wrong. I hope I am. But everything that I've seen, and I went back and read minutes for 7 years. And the legislative officers told me they've only let us go back 3 years. So, that's what they're saying now. The legislative officers, they're gonna change their mind. I don't know. Because I've tried to get them to come up here and look and see, but they probably on deaf ears right now.
When they come up with a number on that, and say it's 500,000, is that money like to be put back in immediately, or can it be put in installments, or?
That's another state auditor's question.
Okay.
I can't tell you that. You know, my guess is that you can't force you to pay something you don't have. You know, so I'm sure they have to do some kind of payment plan with you, but when I told them about it, they said, you gotta stop it right now, and you have to pay it back. They didn't say you may pay it back. They said you have to pay it back.
If we give a solid waste fund, they don't have
Yeah.
$50,000 a month.
So
A year.
would that be an agreement y'all have to work out with the legislative office? Just remember, your dedicated taxes can only be spent on what is
Still
dedicated
dedicated
for.
for.
You cannot borrow, you cannot loan, cannot do anything with that money. It has to stay in that account.
And Mr. DA told us that we're not borrowing money from dedicated from this house. No question? Anything else, on
No, sir, that's all. Oh, every piece of equipment we have is running right now.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. I shouldn't have said that.
Try to report, but wait on it. Homeland Security, Mr. Bureau.
I guess the biggest thing we have right now is gonna be the weather the rest of this week. Hey, we're looking at about 19 to 20 degrees. Hey, wind chill factor coming in, it's gonna be running real cold for 7 to 9 hours, and this is all from GoSell. Long-term freeze north of I-10. We won't be getting any ice or snow. Unfortunately, it's gonna be stopping a little bit south of Alexander, provided they don't push any harder down. So we're looking pretty good down here without the ice and snow. We can handle snow, we can't handle ice. But they're looking from 1/10 of an inch up towards Shreveport to up to 1/4 inch of ice. So we should be able to do it, just make sure everything is route flowing or something else, so we don't come into a building and we got water flowing somewhere. Especially if we wind up losing power. We were awarded the EMPG grant today for the state to pay the salary. So that's about a little bit over $50,000 on that grant. So once a quarter, we'll be turning, after we pay the bills, we can turn that money back in on the.
That's for the year, Darryl?
Yeah, that's for the year. It's almost 51,000 on there. And Sheshuk Award should be coming in, it should be next week or two, because usually those follow each other, and that's for the 2 light plants we're looking at getting for those. And last weekend, you know we had one of them other storms come up and hit. And we had a tree fell on a house at 3671 Highway 952. That's about halfway between Jackson and Wilson. So we brought tarps out there. We got there at 2 o'clock in the morning. We dropped tarps and stuff off so they could tarp their house. Because when they got back home that night, they looked up and there was a tree laying on their house. So we went by there and dropped stuff off so they could go and tarp it. But it was no more rain, so they were good to be able to go till morning before they had to worry about tarping it. And that's everything I got right now.
Thank you.
Mr. Ken, I want to jump in one more time.
Go ahead.
If y'all remember back when they was coming with all this money, and we was gonna get, how many generators have we actually gotten over the parish?
None.
No.
Up
Okay,
and
all
down,
right.
I mean, yeah.
Hey, we've been up, no, we still got a good ways to go.
All right.
Hey, to get these generators in, because the whole state's ordering them, hey, it might take you a year or 2 to even get them in, much less get them installed.
Yeah, well, the reason I'm making a point is that we got on that kick about all these millions of dollars we're gonna get. This is gonna turn into 20, and this is gonna turn into 40, and all that was involved in that, and that company's turning all this in. We ain't got these.
Yeah, we have got FEMA, yeah, we got a report back from FEMA, they've already reviewed everything.
We gotta do that.
But with everything going on with hurricanes out in North Carolina, Florida and all that, they just short of people right now. They can't get enough people to work for them. They need to help push all these through.
Any questions?
I do, Mr. Amrine, have we had somebody go out and look at all of our buildings, and have they all been, ice wrapped and everything, so that we won't have any
I'll
problems?
check tomorrow, see.
It sounds like that's something that we need to do.
Yeah. You start getting 19, 20 degrees.
It's been done.
It's been done.
Can I say
Thank you.
that,
Thank you.
and I'm just saying that at some point in time, we got a full staff. We got a man right there that's over all of that, and we shouldn't be micromanaging what the maintenance falls.
I'm not micromanaging. I asked the
Well,
question.
I don't care,
Well,
I'm just saying, I didn't say to you, I'm just saying we shouldn't micromanage. Y'all, I've been gotten on to before about that, I'm just saying that, hey, we got responsible people that should have been done.
I didn't know that fell under Jeff's.
It's on the job.
John.
Well, Keith's the one that did it. There again, I mean, they know what they need to do.
And that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And I'm
I mean,
sorry,
no,
I'm
it's not.
on that, but I'm just making it up.
Please don't worry about it.
I'm not.
Okay, Chamber of Commerce, Mr. President, to the Chamber,
I have resigned.
or you have,
I was up in January, so.
Commissioner Board, Chamber Donovan, Governor. Mr. Manager,
John Rushon, Secretary of Planning and Zoning. Our next meeting is on the 28th. We have a public hearing set to review the proposed subdivision appendix. Came from Fort Campbell Blog. Sam's reviewing it, looking through it, seeing how it looks. It's got colon, the same to make it work in planning and zoning too. There's a very small change that has to be made under R1. So it'll be coming to the jury after that public hearing, which will have the planning and zoning recommendations. So that's coming up on the 28th if you're interested in coming to the public hearing. That's it.
public comment, you coming to the court? You have anything?
That's why I didn't sit down.
Okay.
I just want to give you a recap for the coroner's office for the year of '24. We wound up with 324 cases in '24, which equates to 313 deaths. Hospital and coroner cases, 275 for coroner, 38 hospital deaths. And then we had 49 mental health cases in the parish that we worked, which is about twice what 23 was as far as mental health. So in those, every time we work one, we wind up getting something from another parish when they get evaluated by the medical psychiatrist out at either Lake or Lane. And then the good news is we billed out $42,261.28 for reimbursement of coroner expenses.
What about an opioid, any opioid yet, anything?
We had, right now, we know we have 4. We've got 3 or 4 pending toxins right now. So, which is down from last year. Last year was like 8 or 9.
How many done in the state also?
But every one of them involves fentanyl, and we've had a lot of near misses on fentanyl. So,
You move public comment. Madam Chairman, what you feel doing?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?